In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of the solution for your week one assignment. Now, you should take care, I'm going to show you the technique for generating the solution. You should take care to read carefully the documentation for how to prepare and submit your assignment one solution documentation. I'm not going to cover that in this video, but rather just the sequel that is needed in order to complete each of the exercises. And really, this assignment is a shakedown to make sure that you have been able to start your SQL Server, connect to it, that the CIS-117 database is installed and loaded, and you're able to select it and use it. And we're going to, for each of the tables in turn, customers, items, order details, and orders, select the entire contents of those databases. We'll learn in future lessons how to select only part of the record, or certain records, filter them, how to link those different tables together, and all kinds of great things. But for now, we're really just making sure that we can connect, that we can run a simple query, and we understand the process. So let's create a new query. And notice that this database system, this database server, actually has multiple databases in it if you've installed all the scripts, the 117 database and Colonial, and if you've put in the HCIT database and possibly others. Okay, so we need to tell the database when we connect to it what database schema is a name for the particular data set that we're interested in. What are we using? And we're going to use the TAL distributors database. So I'm going to say use TAL. Where did I get that name? Oh, excuse me. We're not either. I'm wrong. We're going to use the CIS-117 database, and semicolon will end the batch that says do all the commands up to here before you start on whatever comes next. And then once we've done that, let's select star, means all the records from, and what's the name of one of our tables? Well, there's the customers table. Okay, so let's say customers. And I'm going to break this up. The computer doesn't care how we break this up. We could, in fact, have made this whole command on one line. I like to break it up because it helps visually to see. I'm doing a select clause, and then there's the from clause, and so it's easy to read and see where things are coming from. In a short little command like this, you could probably read it all in one line, and it would stick in your head. As we start to build more complex queries, then it can be a little bit harder to read. So breaking it up like this makes it much clearer and much easier to work with. And I don't care whether you're a beginner or you've been doing this for 20 years, it sure makes it easier. So let's go ahead and run that. And so I hit the execute button, and there's my results. And it tells me some really good things. Number one, I can page through my results. And if there had been more fields to the right, I could scroll horizontally as well as vertically. It tells me that there are 25 rows returned from that table, and there they are. Okay, and then you'll read the instructions that are going to tell you that I want a screenshot of this, and that I also want you to copy and paste the actual query text. That's real handy for me when I'm grading your papers. If I need to test something, rather than having to retype what can end up being a very, very long query, I can just take the text out of your Word document and copy it, paste it into my SQL Server Management Studio, and very quickly test the results you're getting if there's anything unclear. So that's really helpful to you, because it could mean the difference between full points or at least partial points, as opposed to it just looks wrong to me and I mark it as no points. So please do that. Okay, so we've gone ahead and gotten the customers. Now we need to do the same thing for items, order details, and orders. And we can just change this last line if we wish. Also, once we've set the schema, we could actually, there's no reason to, but we could delete this, because once you have set the schema, it will be that schema until we tell it to do something else. So let's demonstrate that, and we'll change this to items, and let's run it. And there's the results from the items table. And the same thing here for our order details table. And the same again for the orders table. All right, so if you can do that, you should be successful with everything in the first assignment. And so you can use this as a guide. Thank you for watching the video.